Pleasure. Just to go. Welcome everyone to the May 31st, 2016 meeting of the City of Villa Rica Planning Commission. This is a call to order. We do have a quorum. Since there's currently 3 out of the 5 of us, any votes that we take would have to be unanimous to pass. First up is the reading of the agenda by Zoning Administrator Rita Peel. Okay, do I have a motion to approve this agenda?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion passes 3-0. First up is old business. Got the approval of the minutes. Does everybody got a copy of the minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions or anything for staff? If not, if there's a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve them.
Have a motion to approve?
Second.
The obvious second. All those in favor raise their right hand. Motion passes 3-0. Next up is new business.
The first item that I have is a plat amendment for replantation phase 4. This technically is not an amendment to the plat. They are resubmitting the plat that was originally submitted for that phase because it was never recorded. They're not changing anything in that development, but because it never got recorded, they have to redo the whole thing and go through the whole process again.
So this is just an administrative.
Just administrative, yeah.
Okay. But we go through the public process still and all that stuff. Okay. All right. Before I open it up, any questions for staff?
Nope.
Okay. All right. At this time, is there anyone that's in favor of this proposal? Please step forward to the microphone, give us your name and address, and tell us why we should do this. No takers. All right. At this time, is there anyone who's opposed to this? You can also step forward and give us your name and address and tell us why we shouldn't do it. No takers. All right. That section is closed to the public. Do I have any recommendations for staff or a motion?
I make a motion we approve the resubmitted plat as.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this. All those in favor raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
The next item that I have is ORD-07-16-UDC. This is an ordinance amending Article 2, Table 2-1, Section 2.01C, and Section 2.03. The City Council, a couple of months ago, approved a change to the UDC requiring conditional use permits in all zoning designations except for residential. And that would be for cell phone towers. There's some new federal guidelines for cell phone towers that say if you don't address those within a 15-day period, I think it's 15 days, they're automatically approved. So we're adding a new application type process to the UDC, which is type 6, and that would require a 10-day turnaround from the time the application is received until it goes to City Council. So we would have to have a called City Council meeting and a called Planning Commission meeting in order to address these cell tower applications.
So you say they're automatically approved within 15 days?
I think it's 15,
So
new federal guideline.
how do you advertise that in the paper for 30 days, or
How do you,
I mean, don't you have to advertise that for 30 days, or,
no, there's a 14-day advertisement period.
and then you have one day after that?
So,
Sound like the cell phone tower has some good lobbyists in the state, huh?
yeah, they do. And it's at the federal level, actually.
Oh, really?
So we'll have to pretty much advertise this as soon as we get the application. And the state provides a mechanism to have an emergency meeting that you don't have that 14-day period. So we're allowed to have an emergency meeting with the less than 14-day notice.
So you'd have to have both the zoning board meeting and then the council meeting within the 15 days,
10 days.
or within 10 days.
Hello, hello.
Ooh. All right.
So you think that's doable? I mean,
I think it's doable.
okay.
As we're talking about this ordinance ORD-07-16-UDC, it's a change to the UDC, adding a type 6 process where applications will be processed within 10 days for conditional use permits for cell towers.
So they still have to file for a building permit or something prior to, so you would have a little more, so when does the clock start on that 10 days? After they file, or
When they file the application for the.
right after they
use.
file the application? That's,
Otherwise, we run the risk of having it automatically approved.
yeah, no, I agree.
Any other questions for staff?
Where would you post notices for something like this? Is it only in the paper in the legal deal, or do you,
We would advertise it in the legal organ, and then we would have to post signs on the property where the cell phone tower would be going.
is it part of the website or anything like that? And,
We typically do, as a public courtesy, post agendas and that type thing on the
and
website.
then do you have to
now.
notify homeowners or landowners?
We do have to notify the adjacent property owners.
Just the adjacent one? Okay. No, that's all the questions I have.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, at this time, if anyone is in favor of this proposal from the audience, please step forward. No takers. All right, at this time, if there's anyone in opposition to this, please step forward. No takers. All right, at this point, we're going to close the public section. Any recommendation or motion for staff?
The staff recommended this, right? So I make a motion, we propose this, what the staff recommended, the 10-day approval process for the.
We have a motion
cell phone
to,
towers.
we have a motion to approve the 10-day approval process. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 10-day process. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up is staff comments.
As of right now, for next month, we possibly have a conditional use for goats. Yep. That's the only thing that I know of right now for sure that we may have on the agenda. Looking back at last month, the 2 ordinance changes that we brought to you all as well as council having to do with the downtown overlay, both of those were approved by the city council. And then update on the downtown master plan. The steering committee had its final meeting last week. Unfortunately, I didn't make that meeting, so I don't know if, John, if you want
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
talk about
did.
that.
Yeah, I can give a little update. So we had the RSVP meeting. They have a completed document with, basically they wanted to kind of edit over. So all in all, the document's really good. It's, the big thing on what I see in it, it is a recommendation. So there's, it's a lot of ideas that we may or may not use, but, it's this ideas that, get people thinking different areas of town. I think the important part is to kind of have an action plan and that, that we kind of adopt the plan, not as, this is in concrete, but adopt the plan as an action. This is things we need to do, and we may want to do them different than the plan, but it's like setting up a framework of kind of moving forward. Some of the things we talked about that meeting, and I think is important to us, is the downtown overlay basically right now kind of has 3 maps. I think it's kind of up to us to come up with one map that's going to describe the area, something that I think we should do. And so the DDA and the Downtown Tourism Board and the downtown, whoever, all have the same footprint that they're working on. And then I think a lot of that zoning changes will, once we get that in place, we should, zone that to help kind of follow the plan in the way we want to, some mixed use areas. The plan actually shows it going towards Evans Barbecue, down that way. And so making that connected to the main part of downtown, I think was an important part of the plan. But should be out hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, don't you think? And I think we're having a special council meeting to kind of present that.
There will be a special meeting of the council as well as the DDA, all the boards, and the public will be invited. Sort of a presentation of the whole master plan.
Yeah, I still think there needs to be kind of a committee going forward, that kind of oversees it, updates it, makes some changes, even though, as it progresses, because it is a good blueprint for
and that is part of this RSVP program. They do follow up with us on a yearly basis, and they'll meet back with the steering committee and see what's been done on the plan.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things I thought was that, they had input from almost 500 people in town, which is one of the best groups that they've ever had. They've done this for several towns, and even larger towns haven't had that much of a input and from the public as we got. So that was real good, and I think Janet did a good job, and they did a good job with the Georgia students.
So the plan is to be discussed, is it like voted on that evening to approve it, or how's
It will
that?
not be voted on that evening. It'll be a presentation to the public, kind of with a tagline of, did your ideas make it to the plan, kind of invite the public
Right,
to
okay.
see what made it to the plan. And then the city council will adopt it after that.
Yeah, I don't think it's an approval, it's more of a
Yeah.
acceptance. This is,
Okay,
yeah,
so this is not like the comprehensive plan
Right.
no,
where it's
not at all.
approved and all
Yeah.
that stuff, voted
No.
on, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
Because the comprehensive plan is a state requirement,
right,
and this is not. So-
okay,
But it should help guide the comprehensive plan.
right,
Yeah.
okay. Cool. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right, next up is public comment. So if anyone would like to step up to the microphone, give us your name and address, and tell us what you think about stuff. No takers. It's open mic day. All right. All right. No takers at this point. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed? Motion passes to adjourn unanimously. Thank you all for attending.